Hi everybody, Steve here at Hollywood Forever Cemetery in Hollywood, California. And the first thing I want to do before I forget is thank Grave Girly on Instagram for helping me find this gravesite today. It's been 3 months since cinematographer HALYNA Hutchins was accidentally shot and killed by actor Alec Baldwin on the set of the movie that they were filming called Rust. I've been monitoring Hutchins' Find a Grave Memorial page, waiting for someone to upload a photo from her gravesite. The memorial page did say that she was laid to rest here at Hollywood Forever Cemetery, and there was a photo of her headstone, but it hadn't been placed yet. I guess it had been created, but it hadn't been placed. Normally, you have to wait a few months at least for the ground to settle after someone's buried before you place the headstone. So here we are a few months later, and I was just scrolling through Instagram the other morning and saw a picture of her headstone placed in the ground, and the person who took the picture was Grave Girly. So I sent her a message on Instagram asking if she would share with me where Hutchins' gravesite was located, and she was very nice enough to do that. In fact, she said, if you know where Chris Cornell's gravesite is, it's just to the right of his gravesite. And of course, I did know where his gravesite was located because I filmed it just a week or so after he was buried here back in 2017. So I wanted to come up here to Hollywood today and visit her gravesite, pay my respects, and share it with all of you. Hutchins' death was such a needless tragedy, like the other needless tragedies where people on movie sets have been shot and killed accidentally with prop guns, fake movie guns that accidentally killed them. On ABC's 2020 recently, I think it was maybe a month or so ago, they did a special where they interviewed Alec Baldwin and everyone on the set, almost everyone on the set, talking about how much everyone really loved HALYNA Hutchins. Not only was she extremely talented, and they all really respected her talent, but apparently she was a really nice person as well, and that just made the tragedy all the more sad. They were filming Rust in Albuquerque, New Mexico. There's a film set there that's used apparently for a lot of westerns. And on October 21st, 2021, she and Alec Baldwin were on the set filming a close-up of the gun. Apparently, she needed to get a really close shot of the barrel of the gun so you could actually see the bullet inside. Now, it was supposed to be a fake bullet, and according to Baldwin on 2020, he said that he was told it was a cold set, I guess, or a cold gun, and that they were just blanks. And so he cocked the gun. According to him, you have to pull the trigger for it to discharge, and he never pulled the trigger. So according to him, it just accidentally went off, but even still, it was supposed to be a blank. She was pretty close, and she was getting a real tight shot, and she told him to point the gun directly at her and the camera. So he was pointing the gun directly in the camera, and she was standing right behind the camera. And when it accidentally went off and turned out to be a live round, she was shot in the chest, and they immediately called 911 when they realized what had happened. And the director, Joel Souza, was standing directly behind her watching the scene, and he was also shot. So, it went through her and I guess then shot him as well. So the one bullet shot both of them. He survived, but she was taken to the hospital and didn't make it. A few hours later, she was pronounced dead. She left behind a husband and a young son, and of course, everyone on the set was just devastated and just in shock and disbelief that something like this could happen, but also that something like this could happen again. It's happened a number of times on movie sets. Brandon Lee, you may remember years ago, actor Brandon Lee was shot, again, with a prop gun that had a live round, and he was killed on the set of The Crow. And I'm guessing that many of you also remember that actor John Eric Hexum did sort of the same thing. He had a prop gun that was supposed to be unloaded or loaded with blanks, and I guess he was fooling around on the set, and he held the gun up to his head, and he actually shot himself thinking that he was just playing around, and it didn't have a live round from what I've read, but it was so close to his head that even the prop gun, whatever they're made of, when it's that close, they can do real damage too, and because he shot himself in the head, he died from his injuries as well. So those are 3 people now, and I think there are others as well who have died from prop guns on sets. Now, what I found so interesting, on 2020, they were talking about why prop guns are even used, and CGI now is so amazing. They can make a gun that hasn't been shot look like it's been shot, and it's so realistic in every way. All the lighting and the noise and the sounds and the actors' reactions. I mean, it's just incredible. So apparently it's not even necessary to use prop guns. So I was thinking, and they didn't really, I don't think, make it clear why films still use prop guns, but I'm guessing that it's because of cost. I'm guessing it's a lot cheaper to use a prop gun and just get the shot right there than to pay to have someone go back in post-production and do CGI to make it look and sound like the guns were being fired. So that's my guess. I'm not positive, but I sort of got that impression from the 2020 report. And they did say that Rust was a fairly low budget production, so they probably just didn't have the funds to do the CGI even if they wanted to. No one should have to be shot and killed while making a movie. I'm sure I'm not going to pronounce this correctly, but HALYNA Hutchins was born April 10th, 1979 in Zhytomyrska, Ukraine. And as I mentioned, she died October 21st, 2021 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Let's just hope that this is the very last time someone has to die on the set of a movie because of a fake prop gun. Let's hope the studios and whoever else is in charge really cracks down on this type of thing. Rubber guns look just as realistic as real guns when it comes to movies. And I guess I would just say if you don't have enough money to pay for CGI, then you shouldn't be making the movie. You may be putting people's lives in danger, at risk. I mean, who wants that? I'm sure no one, especially any of the people that were on any of the sets of these 3 movies and TV shows where tragedies happened. This is just the most recent. So I wanted to visit her gravesite today and definitely want to keep her memory alive and this story alive, and hopefully her death won't be in vain, and maybe it will cause some real changes to take place in Hollywood, and no one will have to die from a fake prop gun in a movie ever again. As always, thanks for joining me once again on this trip to the cemetery, and until our next road trip together, thanks for sharing the memories, everybody.